Welcome back, guys, to the Dalu Talk Sports podcast. We are going to be talking about the Champions League final between Inter Milan and PSG. Kachi Patrick, who do you see winning this year's Champions League final?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to just say like a shout out to those cinematic semi-finals.
Yes.
Two, I won't say hate watches, but two dislikey watches that went according to plan.
Yeah.
So, bro, like, I'm very happy. Like, this final is like no hate, no love, just
Yes,
pure ball.
pure.
So I'm actually quite excited because, like, for me, I actually have like good statistics for Inter and PSG. Inter is one of the best defensive teams this season, and actually, for a team that's actually highly defensive in the Serie A, no team has scored more goals than them, and only Napoli have conceded more than less than them actually, which is like wow. And in the Champions League, they only conceded 5 goals before that semi-final, before conceding 6 against Barca. So like this Barca scored more goals against them than they conceded throughout the entire campaign.
tournament.
Come on,
That's how.
come on. This
Inter
team
Milan
is a
is
beautiful team,
complete.
and also like they are second in the Serie A. They are still on the running for Serie
Yeah,
A.
to be decided
So,
on the final day.
if Napoli wants to mess up, they should mess up.
Yes.
I beg you. And only one team has beaten them in the Champions League this season, Bayer Leverkusen, a close game that ended 1-0, to show that like, yeah, this team actually came to play football this season. And PSG, league-wise, PSG is superior to Inter Milan. They've scored more goals, they have more wins. Inter has scored more from set pieces, so that's something I should watch out for. And if you watch the Barca game, Inter used set pieces to their advantage, and they made good use of counter attacks.
Yeah.
And if you did not notice something about like watching the game against Barcelona, you can just see that like Inter actually has experience. If you watch that penalty against Kurbasi, that is pure experience because Kurbasi made a good tackle, but he's a young player. Lautaro used his experience to win that penalty, and that's really something that Inter can hook on this final, because if they can use their experience to their advantage, then like because PSG, they are not a young team. A lot of their players are like youngish, and Inter has more experience. They've been doing this for like longer. But at the end of the day, PSG actually still has a lot of ballers. Like when it comes to like ballers, talk about like Dembele, talk about Hakimi, talk about Nuno Mendes, talk about João Neves, talk about Fabian Ruiz. So PSG actually has a lot of players, and I think that experience works in favor of Inter. But when it comes to that,
in 3 years,
2 finals in 3 years. So when it comes to that like wow factor of individual players, I think PSG has the wow factor individual players. No, I think PSG. So I'm just going to watch it for the vibes, for the ball. Like I'm excited. This is the best possible scenario, man. Like this is what we're talking about, man.
Yeah. So me, I go with Inter Milan. Basically, they're the best defensive team in the world, not even in Serie A or in the Champions League. Consider the fewest goals, they consider the less goals. So PSG play exactly like Barcelona, to be honest. But PSG don't exactly take their chances like Barcelona. When Yamal is holding the ball, Rafinha, Pedri, you know that Barca has a 90% chance of scoring. But when PSG is on the counter attack, and I noticed that in the Arsenal game, PSG could have finished that game off in the first half with 4 goals. They had counter attacks, but they kept missing their chances. So I say Inter Milan would not give you this space to even get a counter attack, and that is why I put Inter Milan above them. And it's going to be a battle between the coach Inzaghi and Enrique. These guys have played Champions League final. Enrique has coached one of the best Barcelona sides I've ever seen. So how good can a manager be? That's what we're going to see in this game. So let me hear your thoughts. Who do you think will win this Champions League final? Comments.